Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Just Plain Living. I'm Jim Fuller.
Hi, I'm Peggy Burton. We're missing somebody this morning.
We're missing our main guy here. John Gray is
he's with his brother.
He's with his brother who's having a little surgery today in Nashville, and so Peggy and I will try to struggle through. And
I like the decorations.
It's Christmas time.
No, is that what?
Yeah, I guess because it's Christmas.
That's why
time.
I wore my earrings.
Yeah. We love your earrings, by the way.
They make a noise. They jingle.
Well, they kind of do.
Yeah.
But that keeps you alert, though.
Was the Christmas parade not the best?
It was definitely the biggest one we've ever had. There were 118 entries, I
just think that's amazing.
It is. And, they've been doing that. It was the 63rd, so for this to be the biggest one ever is quite an accomplishment. There were less than 100 last year.
And when did you start doing it? Do you remember?
No.
I mean, I
it's
know
been so long
y'all
ago
have done
that
it,
I don't
think,
remember.
ever since I've lived, maybe, at least for a long time.
Yeah, I'd say probably 25 years,
Yeah.
probably, that I've actually done the telecast.
So it's wonderful to have something that just continues and grows and everybody gets excited about.
Yeah,
It was a beautiful
yeah.
night.
Right.
So you didn't freeze. Did John have his heater?
Yeah, John, as we talked about last week,
Yeah.
there have been times when we just braved the elements, and we had a little desk set up out on the sidewalk in front of City Hall, and I've been so cold that I could not enunciate my words. My lips wouldn't function. Yeah, but however, as time evolved, we got smarter about that.
Yeah, and warmed up a little.
Well, it's pretty comfy now. I mean, it's like we have this little tent thing over there that knocks all the wind out of you, and we've got a heater in there now, actually, with us.
Which is very smart.
Yes,
That's very smart.
It's we're not roughing it at all, really.
You're just
anymore,
really having a good time.
Yeah, and then you really get to see a lot of nice folks.
Yeah.
And the parade again was absolutely wonderful. So
I'm proud of Tullahoma for all the things that they present around this time of the year, and of course, there's lots going on. I went to the Civic Choir, and it was fabulous.
It was.
It was. Honestly, your family has a huge impact in there, but Ann Baldwin has done a superior job, and Lions Club supports that.
Mm-hmm.
And
Tullahoma Downtown Lions Club.
Right. I always get the two mixed up, but they do great work. And in the 12th year, that's pretty amazing. And every year it seems to get better and better. I don't, every year I say that, but often we do that.
Right.
And it's not necessarily better, it's just that the impact on you is so great. But it starts the season.
That's right, and the community choir performance will be aired here on Charter 193 a number of times during the rest of this month. I don't know the first time I think we got the video yesterday. So. And
it's a nice video. I just watched the first part of it. It's really well done, so people will enjoy that.
Right.
I'm glad I know Ann Baldwin because she gets out there and searches music until she digs up everything that's the best that year.
And it's kind of a legend in Tullahoma, as you are, Peggy, when it comes to
I don't
musical
know about
kind
that,
of stuff. But I always wondered, Peggy, I think I've seen you in some groups where Ann was directing. She was like the conductor. How hard is it when you're used to being in charge all the time?
It's hard. You have to sit on your hands.
Oh, do you?
Yeah. My husband used to say to me when we go to family reunions or to different events where they weren't very well organized, he'd say, Peggy, just sit on your hands. Just keep your mouth shut. And that was hard.
Right.
It was hard when you think, it would be so much easier if it was done this way.
Right.
But I have a lot of respect for Ann. She does a great job.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And let's see, this weekend we have coming up at the Civic Center, we have the Christmas Carol, and it starts on Thursday or Friday. They're going to be here and talk about it. I won't tell too much, but it's this weekend. It's a wonderful production, and everybody enjoys seeing a Christmas production this time of year.
And is it tonight, Old Town Christmas?
Old Town Christmas, that's right.
Yes.
And in fact, we're talking about Ann Baldwin. Her students will sing at 5. In the past, my students have done that, but I had to cancel this year because I had this little leg problem, but I'm getting better.
Peggy had a big leg problem there for a while.
I really did, and I'm so pleased it's 2 months later.
And this may be the first time I ever remember you being sidelined during the Christmas season.
Oh my gosh, I was, and that's why I put things off so long, I think. And I tell people, don't put things off when you need to do it, because being old and having a knee replacement is not necessarily the most fun thing in life.
Right.
But
right.
I got through it. I'm doing good.
So the Old Town Christmas Stroll, I think is what it's called.
Yes.
Is that at multiple locations? as
It's
it
at a
usually
lot of
is?
locations, and I'm afraid I'll miss one because I don't have a list. But I know that's at First Christian stuff's going on, and at First Methodist, and I think Baptist, and all over town things are going on. The Civic Center starts at, I think I read where Ann's, instead of start at 5, she's going to start at 4:30, but everybody may not know that. Anyway, that'll be at the Civic Center, and then there'll be, I believe, the high school singers coming in. Anyway, I'm afraid to tell what the schedule is, but it's a great schedule, and there's nice places to sit and watch some good Christmas performances.
Right.
The band's doing stuff, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah.
At different places. You think Abigail will be dragging that great big old
Abigail
horn?
that's my granddaughter. She's into something every day.
Yeah,
And,
she really is.
I think loves it, actually, you know. I mean, it's
does.
got to the point now where my family is involved in so much I can't keep up with it. I can't make all the deals.
You can't get to
I can't get to all
everything.
the deals anymore and carry and work and do
Because I know
stuff.
you had one doing the Nutcracker.
Sunday or
and
this
then-
past
yeah,
weekend.
And I hear that was fabulous in Manchester.
It was.
That was at the MAC, I guess.
Yeah, and I got to say that I have been to the Manchester Arts Center a number of times, but I guess I was always there, not at a performance of any kind.
Yeah.
That is a really nice venue.
I love
for that
going
sort of
there
thing.
because it's small enough that there are no bad seats.
Right.
And the stage is a nice size, and they do a wonderful job.
Yeah.
They really do. I think they have the oldies there probably this weekend or next. And
Right.
they've always got something. We're so fortunate that we live in a region and we're surrounded
Right.
with lots of artistic
Yeah,
events.
because a lot of communities wouldn't have the facilities or the means to do for these people to exhibit their talent. There's a lot of talent.
And the
in
Art
this
Center
country.
has been, our local Art Center has been advertising lots of things for sale for Christmas. And so I encourage you to go in there and check all that out. So we're fortunate to have them too.
Right, right. Also, one other thing I want to mention, folks, that we are replaying. We have a video of, well, it's actually a rather long video. It's about 5 hours long, of the American Legion Big Brothers Telethon, and we've compiled highlights. We did that for 16 years. It was a fundraiser to.
So that'll be airing. When does that start?
It actually starts this Saturday, and at noon, I believe. Correct? Okay, this Saturday at noon, and it'll last about 5 or 6 hours or something like that. And it's video clips of from the highlights of all those telethons, all 16 of those telethons. Fire Chief Richard Chastain is on our show from time to time, and Richard wasn't the fire chief when he appeared on that show.
Yeah.
He was just a fireman, but he did an Elvis song on that, and it must have been 20 years ago or something like
He
that.
was
probably.
fabulous.
Yeah,
You know,
but,
he had probably still has a beautiful voice.
but there's a lot of folks that you'll recognize.
me.
Some are not with us anymore, and some have grown up and aged as I have. And
You'll never grow up.
But
You may have aged, but you're not growing up.
I'm sometimes.
You have a fabulous voice.
I'm sometimes an embarrassment to my family, though,
No,
Peggy,
you're not.
because all of them are talented.
You're talented.
They have real talent, and here I was, a bar singer, you know. So,
But that's
anyway,
okay.
you
That's
know,
okay.
anyway.
What's your favorite song that you sung on the telethon? I know you.
What
do
is the chestnuts roasting on? Oh, the Christmas song. Yes,
Christmas song. That's
Yeah.
always a good one. Somebody put on Facebook recently, what's your very favorite of all time Christmas song? So is that yours?
That and I'll Be Home for Christmas is good. I like it as well.
That's the one I
White
chose.
Christmas.
I
for-
chose I'll Be Home for Christmas because I think anybody that's been married to a military person or been in the military, or were never home Christmas. We used to do Christmas parties in October because a lot of people would be changing their assignments. So we'd have a big Christmas party. We'd decorate a tree and do Santa Claus the whole 9 yards. But that was a song that registered with me. And
You know, we were doing a news piece the other day about Christmas tree safety, you know, how
Yeah.
long, keeping it watered, all that kind of stuff, you know. And, you know, I'm thinking back that a lot of people probably don't use real trees anymore.
I don't think they do.
You know, and
they're still pretty.
When
you
I was
know.
a kid, that's all you could do.
Oh, yeah, we'd
we
go
lived
in
in
the
the country, and you probably did it too.
We
You just
did.
walk out in the woods and
Chop a tree
chop a
and
tree down.
drag it home. That's
yeah,
right.
you're right.
And I had an aunt that had, I don't know why she did this, but she put real candles on her tree.
And that is absolutely a no-no.
That's kind of a German thing.
Yeah.
Well, I've been singing all my life, so one of the things I always did was entertaining around the tree at Christmas, even when I was little. And I think I've told this, and if you've heard it, well, just turn it off. Anyway, I was singing with my sister, and I'm next to the tree, and my hair catches on fire.
Oh, goodness.
And do you know that I never stopped? I finished my music. Somebody came up and beat the fire out of my hair, you know. So the show had to go on.
Oh, my goodness.
I think I was 7. Anyway, that was a big day.
I'm sure people don't put candles on their
Oh,
Christmas tree
surely
anymore.
not.
You know, I read the other day that you know, their home fires, when you have a Christmas tree fire or Christmas decorations cause a fire, you're about 5 times more likely to have someone have a fatality, than you would on just a normal house fire.
It's pretty scary.
Yeah, it
You
is
know,
scary.
I don't know how people get these millions of lights up around their house, and they have trees outside, and they go on, and every year it gets bigger and bigger.
Oh, yeah.
How do they pay their bill? I don't know how they do that.
It's Christmas, you don't think about that.
I guess not.
Right.
I guess not. Of course, Christmas is a lot more than a Christmas tree,
Oh,
and we
absolutely.
need to always remember
Absolutely.
that.
Absolutely.
So, coming up today on the show, we have some good people.
We do. And I confess, I just walked in and don't know who's on the show, except who I see in the audience right now.
Right.
But,
That's good enough.
yeah.
That's good enough. So, anything, last words we need to give before we sign off here?
Peggy and I were quite apprehensive about going through the show this morning without John, because when you sit in this chair, you're sort of carrying the rest of it. You know,
That's right.
you have to think of the topics that we're going to discuss. And I sat in this chair for many years and was very happy to pass it along to John Gray.
Yeah.
So, because you kind of actually have to work in this chair.
Right.
But we did get through
Are
it,
they
Peggy.
buzzing us off?
I think that's it. They're saying get off the stage.
Yeah.
We are going to take a quick commercial break, folks. Stay with us. We'll be right back in just a moment.
Keith Barnett here at Russell Barnett Ford of Winchester. Check out the 2018 Ford F-150 as low as $34,739. That's Russell Barnett Ford on 41A in Winchester, home of the lifetime powertrain warranty. And remember, my question is, why buy anywhere else?
Your word is like a lamp unto my feet and a light unto my path. As we celebrate the birth of Jesus Christ, follow his path of love, forgiveness, obedience, and prayer. To all of you we wish Merry Christmas!
You made the time and the sacrifice to broaden their horizons, to see their smiles, but mostly to make lifelong memories. We think it's time to do it again, just the two of you. Don't let illness or injury slow you down. The rehab team at Life Care Center of Tullahoma is ready to help you live well.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and we're pleased to have joining us on the set now Tiffany Clutter from the Manchester Recreation Department. And I forget your exact title, Tiffany.
It's a big one. It's okay.
Okay.
I'm the activities coordinator.
Activities Coordinator.
Which
okay.
basically means I get to plan a lot of fun stuff.
Yeah, okay.
It's a great job.
And I got the impression the last time you were here that you really like doing that?
I'm having a ball.
She's a fun kind of girl, I'm telling you. Yeah.
My word. But I love having fun, and I work with some amazing people at the Recreation Department, and I'm proud to work for the City of Manchester. It's super fun.
And of course, Tiffany and her husband owned
Thunder Radio.
Thunder Radio.
For a long time.
Yeah, and so she's moved from the radio business to I guess full-time party girl. I'm not sure for the city of full-time. But anyway, and I assume you like doing that, though.
I love it. Well, what a lot of people don't know is that before we owned the radio station, we owned Thunder Radio for 14 years. I was in the fitness industry. I worked for Baptist Hospital Health and Fitness Center. I worked for Sportscom in Murfreesboro, and so I have quite a few years experience doing this type of thing. So I kind of came back home, if you will, taking this position.
So the Manchester Recreation Department is a really good fit for you then.
It's a perfect fit.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And so I assume that you've created you got some activities going you'd like to talk about.
We have an entire program staff, and we have a lot of things gearing up for January and February. I'd love to, if you'd let me, give folks a little teaser on those. But I do want to encourage folks to, if you're looking for that perfect Christmas gift, which everybody's looking for the perfect thing.
Of course.
At the Manchester,
especially men.
Well, yes. Well, you could give the gift of health and family fun.
Yeah.
We have memberships at the Manchester Recreation Department on sale, 10% off. That is through December the 20th. 10% is a great value, 10% off. So you could give the gift of health and family fun, and we have all kinds of wonderful amenities at the Recreation.
So you actually have programs, fitness programs that the Recreation Department administers, correct?
We do, and we have our pools you can enjoy, and our walking track. We have cardio equipment and weight training equipment, and we have fitness classes in the water and on land is what we call it when it's not in the water, and all kinds of great programs. So we'd like you to check us out. You can go to cityofmanchestertn.com and click on the Parks and Recreation Department.
Now, and you've actually got 2 pools over there, is that correct?
Well, we have the beautiful outdoor pool, which is incredible. And I tell this story, I don't know if I told you, but when my husband wanted to move to Manchester and buy a radio station, I said, well, what's in Manchester for me? And I told you my background. Well, we were on Highway 53 and coming around there on that Woodbury Highway, and I saw the water slides, and my head snapped around, and I said, what in the world is that? And we went in, and I was just blown away that little old Manchester has this fabulous 66,000 square foot facility with the outdoor pools, as you were mentioning, the indoor Olympic pool, the therapy pool, and a kiddie zero depth pool, not to mention the huge basketball courts, as well as racquetball courts and the walking track and the latest and greatest equipment.
Do I recall there's like a balcony or something where you can walk around?
There is that walking track is the balcony,
track.
over the basketball court. Absolutely.
Right.
So you've been?
I've been in there a
Well,
number
you
of
need
times.
to come back. We're having 10% off through the 20th.
Right. I've been there, and I certainly could benefit from that. Lord knows I could benefit from that.
Oh, well, I've just found that folks that work out are just happier.
Yeah, absolutely. That's absolutely true.
We've got some great programs to keep folks motivated in the new year. We have a walk that's coming up, and if I start crying, you just bear with me. I might need that hanky. This is kind of near and dear to my heart. We are planning to have a Veterans Honor Walk, and that is going to start January the 6th through March the 6th. And we're having folks pledge to walk in honor of their very favorite veteran. So we're going to have a wall. I'm getting goosebumps talking about it. The tears might come here in a moment. A wall with their poster saying, my name is Jim.
Yeah, right.
I pledge to walk blank amount of miles for my favorite veteran, and here's their picture.
Right.
And we're going to help them put the picture on their little poster, have it on the whole wall, and it's just a great way to recognize our valiant service people, the men and women who have served our country. So I'm excited about that.
And when is that coming up?
January the 6th.
January 6th, okay.
And if you can't start till January 10th or 12th, it's not a problem. But it's just a way to help keep us motivated to keep moving, but also to say, I'm doing this for my favorite veteran.
Right.
And so I plan to walk for my father, and his picture is going to be on there.
Super,
And for those
super.
of us who have, lost our loved ones. My father didn't perish in the war, but he did serve in Vietnam.
Right.
And I'm excited to walk for him.
Okay.
Because he has since passed.
And I bet a lot of people will be as well.
I can't-
You're going to have to send us some information about that.
I
'cause
cannot.
it's
I'm
a-
going to invite you to send Philip Scoggins out with his camera when
And
we
we
get
will
that
be- we
sea
will be
of
happy
red,
to
white,
do
and
that.
blue, and the stars and the pictures of the veterans.
Right.
I'm so excited about this.
Alan Harris, who is in the audience here with you earlier this morning, is commander of the American Legion here in Tullahoma, and I'm sure that's something he would like to share with veterans here.
We
in
would love for
Tullahoma.
folks to participate
Absolutely.
in that and walk for our veterans.
You have more events.
Well, I
coming
brought my
up.
note cards because I didn't want to miss anything because there are just so many programs coming up January, February at the Manchester Parks and Recreation Department. I do want to mention we do have a Christmas break day camp, and that's where you can send your child to us ages 5 through 12, send them to us, and we'll take care of them, and they'll
You
do
said
fun
Christmas
things.
Day?
Christmas break day camp.
Oh, break.
So it's a
Okay.
day
Yeah.
camp, and
Right.
it's kind of around the hours. The date we're closed at Christmas for
Mm-hmm.
some days, but we do offer it for 5 days. And so you can call us at the Manchester Recreation Department for all the details on that, and we'll take care of your child while you're at work.
I've got to think that is a wonderful idea because
Well-
everybody's so busy, and you mentioned
Yes.
that both parents typically work these
yes.
days, and that could create an issue, and plus you're stressed about the whole thing anyhow.
Here's
So
how
it's
it
a-
happens though. When the kids come home, they're just exhausted.
Yeah,
They were swimming
Right.
and doing crafts and playing
Right.
and different games and basketball and kickball and volleyball and all kinds of fun things.
Yes.
And so they come home tired.
Yeah.
Which is what you want.
Exactly.
It is.
Exactly.
It is. So we do have that going on in December and then right at the very 1st of January.
Okay.
But we've got some other great programs coming up. We've got time for that?
We'll take them.
All right, very good. I'm going to skip around in January and February as we've got so many different things coming up. I mentioned that walk, but we also have a swim challenge coming up. It is Swim the Pacific Coast in Hawaii.
Ooh,
And that goes
that's
January.
a long ways.
Well, we're not really going to Hawaii, but it's a virtual swim just to keep you
Right.
motivated,
Sure.
to keep you swimming. If
Sure.
swimming is your thing, and that is January 6th through March 16th, and that sounds like a lot of fun. And in Manchester, we have baseball and softball signups coming up in January and February.
No
it's
kidding.
already time for signups.
That's unbelievable.
I know.
Unbelievable.
So we have the Manchester Youth Baseball and the Coffee County Fast Pitch, as well as the Manchester Girls Slow Pitch. We've got Saturdays from 9 to 2 from January 25th to February 29th. There are a couple of Tuesdays in there from 5 until 8 p.m. But we have our newsletter we put out every 2 months, the Fit to Print. You can swing on by, get a free copy of that to find out all the specifics and the contact information for those folks as well. And January 17th, we have a free lunch and learn program coming up. The folks at Physical Therapy and Balance Center are offering at 11 a.m. at our Ada Wright Center that day seminar and some food, which is super fun.
Yeah, that completes the deal.
This seminar is called Fight the Fall, and they produce a statistic that says 1 out of every 3 Americans over the age of 65 will fall this year. I think gravity's in full effect,
Oh my goodness.
and I don't know if it's
That one in how many?
1 out of every 3.
1 out of every 3. Unreal.
I trip over my own feet every day. I don't know. I skew the statistic here, I think.
Right.
But they're going to teach you how to fight the fall,
Yeah.
and you can learn tips, and that's going to be free, and that is presented
And I
by
think
our
that's a good
friends.
program. I don't know a lot about it, but I know there are programs and things that you can do to help you maintain your balance as we get older.
Yes.
Yeah.
We can help with that.
Right.
We've
Number
got,
one, don't drink too much holiday spirits. But no, I'm kidding.
depends on
That's
what's
not
in there. You have to, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. There's a middle school social coming up, and that is February 7th for all middle schoolers. So it doesn't matter which middle school they go to, as long as they're that middle school age. You want to pre-register for that at the front desk so that we know who's going to be there. But kids love a social. I don't know
Yes,
if you
they
have
do.
a middle schooler in your family.
Oh, yeah, I
And that
actually
60
do.
Well, they just love to get together and talk and have
Yes.
fun, and so we're going to offer a middle school social, and that's coming up February the 7th. We've got a free middle school lock-in February the 28th, and that's from 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. They're
Yeah.
stay overnight
Yeah.
with us.
That's a good way to get a babysitter for
We have
overnight.
chaperones for that,
Yeah.
and I'm not one of them because I like to go to bed early. So
Right.
fair enough. And we have our free Amazing Family Night where we open the rec center to the community for an evening 7 to 9 p.m. on January the 17th, and then on February the 21st from 7 to 9 p.m. as well. The pool, the racquetball court, youth wellness facility, and snacks will be available.
Okay, all right. They're telling me we're out of time, Tiffany, and but by the way, Philip told me a moment ago that Tiffany's going to be on the show once a month. So
oh, have fun! Thank you. You're so kind to have us.
Oh, you didn't know that.
You're so kind to have us.
Philip says Tiffany's going to be on the show once a month to fill you in on what's happening at the Manchester.
Well, if Philip
Recreation
says it,
Park.
it must be true.
It must be true. That's right. Tiffany, thank you so much.
It's great to see you again.
Nice to see you as well. We'll be right back in just a moment.
Here at Manchester Funeral Home, we know the importance of living and working in our local community because it's those families who we serve during their time of need honorably. We believe in supporting local business and offer only 100% Batesville caskets, the best in the industry and a driver of our local economy. If you want straightforward and fair pricing while working with the people you know, choose Manchester Funeral Home, serving your community since 1932. And pre-planning and pre-funding can be the best gift you ever leave your loved ones. Call us to pre-arrange. Manchester Funeral Home. Our family caring for your family since 1932.
Welcome back. We're going to talk a little bit about New Year's Eve happening at the Civic Center this year, and I have on the set with me Greg Gressel, who is the man that takes care of everything in this
He's our
town.
president.
The chair of South Jackson.
He's the chairman there of the board. That's what I call him. Florence Holt from Clayton Shoes, who is kind enough to come and help talk about this today. So obviously it's New Year's Eve is the date, and what time's it starting?
8 o'clock.
8 o'clock.
8 o'clock.
8 o'clock. Okay. Well.
And it's the New Year's Eve party, so of course it's going to
Till midnight.
or 1 o'clock or 1:30, whatever we need to do.
Do you want to kind of give me a lineup of what's happening as the
sure.
night goes by?
Well, we've got 8 o'clock. We're going to have a casino there. It's going to be professionally ran.
Oh,
and
good.
So you can come in and have some fun with that. The band will start playing around 9 o'clock, play till at least midnight.
And the band they have is, can I talk about
Yes.
them just a minute, is the Jake Leg Stompers. Don't know if you've ever seen them, but 4 years, how many years has it been
4 or
since?
5 years ago.
4 or 5 years ago, they did a Great Gatsby party, or we did, as our New Year's, not New
As our
Year's, but
gala.
gala. And the Jake Leg Stompers came, and they do music of that period.
Yes.
That's
They're
what's
really
so cool
good.
about them. And they've revved up their show a lot, and you can dance to their music, and they will be on stage at 9 o'clock, and promised me they'd play till midnight, ring in the whatever, and they'd play longer if there was anybody still standing.
Great.
Yeah, we're
Great.
supposed to, we'll have a dance floor, so there'll be dancing.
Right.
Lots of food, great food, heavy hors d'oeuvres, and then there'll be a cash bar, and we'll have a champagne toast at midnight for
Good.
everyone, all a part of the
So
price.
the champagne is part of the price.
Yeah, and the tickets are $50 a person, and they can get those online at southjackson.org, or they can call the office at 931-455-5321.
Right.
I love that number. It's right there on the screen. All you have to do is write it down. But I can always remember that one number.
I know, it's
5321.
easy.
It's an easy one.
It's an easy one. So so it'll be a whole day. We'll have live ball drop as well from New York, and we'll have backstage. We'll have television set up so people can watch
And
some
I
of the
think that's a
concerts
cool
that are going
idea,
on at different places
So
like
you
Times
kind of
Square.
have, where will the casino be? Back
It's
in
going
the
to be
rehearsal
back
hall?
in the London Hall in the end of the hall.
Okay, and then in other places in the building where there's been a lot of renovation
Mm-hmm.
and decoration, there will be different events happening.
Right, and we've got several great sponsors already that have sponsoring certain things, and then there's other sponsorships available as well. So if people would like to still get in on being a sponsor, we would be glad to advertise.
Call that same number?
You call that number, ask for me, or just say I want to sponsor New Year's Eve.
Do you have different levels of sponsorship? You want to run those by me real quick?
We do have different levels. We have the waltz and the foxtrot and the shimmy and the tango and the Charleston.
Very nice.
They go everywhere from $250 sponsorship to $20.
Well, what's the tango?
The tango is $1,500.
You get 4 tickets.
For 4 tickets.
And 4 tickets and a sponsor of the entire event. And
your name everywhere,
and name
plastered
everywhere,
hither
yes.
and yon.
Right. And with 2 event sponsors that we have already is For the Win, which is the cigar shop. They are sponsoring the poker table.
That's great.
And Starbucks is doing our breakfast hour. They're going to have their breakfast
very nice.
items and their coffees and stuff from 12
So there
to
will
1.
be breakfast.
Yes.
Breakfast is part of the deal. Hors d'oeuvres all over the place is part of the deal.
And champagne.
The drink at midnight, and then you can buy drinks during your time there,
Right.
if you like. And where did I hear that you might have an Uber system set up?
We're looking into just having some drivers and some
Right,
stuff
I
that
know
would,
it's
that would
not
take people
the Uber
home.
thing, but
Yeah, our
Right.
own personal Uber.
well,
so.
we'd certainly encourage people to get a ride home if they've imbibed in a lot of things.
Yes, and we have a wonderful new lit parking lot there. They can leave their stuff right there.
Well, that's the beauty of doing breakfast at the end,
Right.
because you have coffee and you have breakfast and you
Right.
go home having a good time. It's so nice that, to my knowledge, I don't know of anything else happening in this region. It's so good to go to an event that's right near your house.
Right.
We're kind of billing it as Tullahoma's premier New Year's Eve party, because
Love
it's
it.
going to be a lot of fun and really a great, nice, big place for people to gather. So,
And we are doing a silent auction.
oh yeah, that's right.
Oh,
So
have you got any big prizes out there?
We're working on
Big
it.
auction prizes?
There's some things that are in the works, and so yeah, we've
So
got.
if you've got something
some
in
great
your
things going.
house
You can
or
call that same
around
number.
that you'd like to donate as an auction item, that would be great.
That would
This
be
is
great.
serving as our gala this year.
Yeah.
We traditionally have a gala in January. We won't have both. This is going to be our big gala New Year's Eve party
I
event.
think it's a good idea,
So,
because people like to have somewhere to go, and a lot of people don't like to go too far.
right.
And it's nice to have it right here in our own backyard. It's South Jackson Civic Center, and if you happen to live somewhere you don't know where that is, it's Tullahoma, Tennessee, the only city in the world named Tullahoma, am I right?
That's
Yep.
right.
I think that is so cool. Anyway, call to get your tickets or go online and get your tickets so you have them ahead of time. And are you encouraging people to dress
Sure.
a certain way, or
If anybody would love to go, the whole theme is the the Whirlwind 20s.
Yeah.
And of course we're kicking off 2020.
so we're kicking off 2020, so you're staying with the roaring 20s of 1920s.
Exactly.
And the Great Gatsby era to start the push. Well, guys,
Sounds like
let's
fun.
sell some tickets.
Right.
Thanks for
Fun.
coming.
Thank
I love
you.
you. You know I do.
I love you too,
We'll be
Peggy.
back.
Thank
Keith Barnett here at Russell Barnett Kia in Tullahoma. Check out the 2019 fully loaded V6 Kia Sorento, up to $6,400 off original MSRP. That's Russell Barnett Kia in Tullahoma, home of the lifetime powertrain warranty. And remember, why buy anywhere else?
My wife Jackie has always been the life of the party, but things changed when she couldn't be as active anymore.
They told me I needed a double knee replacement.
It's not as big a deal as it used to be, but she still needed to go to rehab.
I was amazed at how good the therapists were at Life Care. They took really good care of me.
They took excellent care of her, and now she's back doing the things she loves, and that makes everyone happy.
Life Care Center of Tullahoma wants you to get active and live well.
So you've been meaning to do something healthy, commune with nature, get outdoors and meet new people. We have the perfect solution. Come hike with us. You can find a Tennessee Trails Association chapter near you, including Clarksville, Columbia Franklin, Highland Rim, Jackson, Knoxville, Oak Ridge, Memphis, Murfreesboro, Nashville, Plateau at Crossville, and Upper Cumberland. We're on the web at TennesseeTrails.org. It's fun, it's stress-free, and it's good for you. See you on the trails.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I'm pleased to have joining me now Tullahoma's Fire Chief, Richard Chasteen. And you heard us talking about Richard in the opening segment today because Richard will be glad. Richard is tired of hearing this, but we were talking about how the American Legion Big Brothers greatest hits of the telethon are going to be airing starting at noon this Saturday, and will air every Saturday until Christmas. And if you want to see our sophisticated now fire chief back 25 years ago, when he would do about anything, he will be singing on the telethon. Hunka Hunka Burning Love, I believe, is the song he did somewhere, I don't know, late 80s maybe, something. Anyway, Richard, I just wanted to tell all your fans that will be happening starting this Saturday.
Well, you need to catch that because that was my last live performance allowed by my wife. And we've been married 29 years, December the 1st, and it has not happened since. I can assure you, there's no video proof of anything.
Well, that is an old video, but it happened, and I thought Richard did a great job at that. His wife, however, had a different opinion.
We raised a lot of money that night.
We did.
It was a great event.
It was a great event. The other thing I wanted to mention to you, and then we'll get into the subject of why you're really here. Also, I was talking to Peggy in the opening segment, and she talked about when she was a kid that they put candles on their live Christmas tree for decorations, and she was singing in front of the Christmas tree and caught her hair on fire. And I'm thinking, nobody should ever put live candles on a Christmas tree, on a real Christmas tree.
And that was done a lot, and we survived somehow. A lot of people, some places didn't survive, but most did. But now we've got a lot of more safe ways of doing things, and we encourage people to be careful when they're lighting their trees. And if they've got a live tree, keep that thing watered, and as soon as Christmas is over, get it out of your house, because we do still have several people that utilize live trees, and once they're brought inside in a warm house, they start dying immediately.
Right. So, 2 weeks, I understand, is the max you should keep them under any circumstance.
Yeah, and then if you'll just feel of the needles, and if they're falling off when you're touching them, it's time to get it outside.
And I may have mentioned this in the opening segment as well, but I was shocked to see that nationally, for a house fire, you have a fatality in maybe 1 out of 140 or 50, but if it involves Christmas decorations or Christmas trees, you're much more likely to have a fatality. I don't know why that is.
Well, it's the fire load factor. A live Christmas tree is going to burn so much quicker. And even statistics now, used to when you were putting candles on your Christmas tree, you had 15 to 20 minutes to get out because everything in the house was built so much more solid.
Oh, good point.
And now it's more foam and plastic, and you have 3 to 5 minutes to get out of a home.
Which is not much time.
Not much time, especially if you don't have a plan.
Right.
So you need to plan ahead because statistics show twice in your lifetime you'll be directly affected by a fire. So if you haven't had any, you need to be ready because statistics are saying it's going to happen.
Right.
So.
All right, we need to get some toys for needy children in the city.
We sure do. We had our registration Friday and Saturday. We had about 170 families. Families have as much as 6 children. So it usually equates to about 500 children that we have to buy for. Mm-hmm. We try to raise $20,000, and we'll spend that on the kids. Average $30 to $50 per child, depending on the age. Mm-hmm. We provide for ages 0 through 14. So we're getting a little late start this year. It kind of we got behind a little bit. Thanksgiving was a little bit later, and then the parade was on the 6th. So we usually wait till after the parade to get started with our collections. And we've only got 2 weeks. Usually we have about 3 weeks. So we're going to need some help. Going to need it fast.
Right.
We're going to be building the boxes on the 19th, 20th, and the 21st. So we need to have everything in place by the 18th.
Right.
Money and donations of toys so that we know exactly where we're at.
And you mentioned you need about $20,000. You can also bring unwrapped toys, new unwrapped toys, but you prefer cash. And tell them why.
We do prefer cash. For one thing, the local businesses give us a discount, and we're a part of a 501c3, so we don't pay sales tax either. So we can get 20 to 30% more than you can buy, and we can also get exactly what we need.
Right.
When I go buy, I always buy, a fire truck or a football or something. Well, that just kind of matches a narrow group.
Right.
We've got 4-year-old little girls that we have to go buy for.
Right.
And we've also got 13 and 14-year-old boys and girls that, so we're looking at clock radios and watches and earbuds and stuff like that.
And my guess is you don't know who you're buying for till you bring it all together and determine what the pool requires.
That's right. Each shift, we've got 3 shifts, 10 people on a shift, and they go out and they'll take a group of about 60 families. And they'll put together a list. I'll give them the dollar amount that we have, and it's a third of whatever we collect.
Right.
Each shift gets a third.
Right.
And they kind of adopt those families, and they go out and handpick the gifts for those families. So each shift takes a third of it. And it depends on how much money we get, how much money they get to spend. And you'll see them out at the stores with shopping carts, and they enjoy it. It's a great thing that we do. Unfortunately, we have to do it. It's a shame. But if we didn't do it, and if people didn't give, then there's some kids in Tullahoma wouldn't get any Christmas.
My guess is there's a lot of work that goes into this in just manpower, man hours from the Tullahoma Fire Department.
It is, and then the police officers come out and help us on the days that we do it also, and some people don't have cars, so we have to try to track them down to make sure that they get what they need. We have cut the registration off. If there's a special situation, we'll figure out something. We always have.
Right.
But we usually it's a busy time.
Right.
And we're also, in there somewhere we have to run emergencies and still continue to do training. I've got 7 guys in Manchester for 2 weeks for hazardous material technician training right now during the middle of all this.
Oh my goodness.
So, it's what we do.
Yeah, and if I happen to have a scanner in my office, and these guys are not just sitting around the fire hall. They're doing something all the time.
Yeah, they stay busy. They have to do 2 hours of training every day.
Yeah.
Along with, when it's the season, mowing the yard,
Right.
cleaning the building, and cleaning the toilets, and
Right.
washing the dishes, and mopping the floor, and
Right.
washing the fire trucks.
Right.
And
Oh, they
It's
don't
pretty busy.
provide maid service for firemen?
No.
No. Okay.
No,
All right.
that's the police department that gets that.
Oh, that police department gets that. I should have known. If you want to help, if you want to give some money to the fire department, how do they do that, Richard?
Come by Fire Hall number 1, 613 South Jackson Street, anytime. We prefer a check, made out to the toy drive. Or you can bring cash if you want to. You can do it anonymously, or we can put your name down, whatever, however you want to do it. We want to make it easy.
Right.
If you want to bring toys, bring those unwrapped. And we have already received several, but we need a bunch more.
Okay.
We will get a pretty good little influx on the 17th from Dustin Lynch.
That's
Every
right,
year
yeah.
when he has his concert, he asks everybody to bring a toy.
Right.
And so we'll get 150, 200 that night. But when you got 500 kids, that's not even one per child.
Absolutely.
So we need a lot of help.
Right.
And Tullahoma's always come through. We've always had extra and had a little bit of money to carry over to the next year.
Right.
So we're blessed.
Okay. All right. So you can stop by the fire hall. You can bring a toy, but they prefer cash for very good reason, because they can buy more.
Right. Absolutely.
All right,
Absolutely.
Richard. Great program. Lots
Thank
of
you.
luck with that.
Thank
really.
you. Thank you. Merry Christmas.
We'll be right back, folks. We're right after this.
Clayton's has been Tullahoma's family shoe store for over 100 years with a reputation for fashion and personal service. And the tradition continues today. Stop by Clayton's and see our large selection of fine shoes.
We're gonna fit your style. We're gonna make you smile. Service and quality at Clayton's Shoe Store. We're gonna fit your style.
Ah, the glory days. Running to daylight on the gridiron and chasing a ball with a mind of its own. Cheering the team to victory and marching to the beat of your own drum. Memories that last a lifetime. But sometimes we're reminded of our glory days in ways we'd rather forget. Get back in the game. The rehab team at Life Care Center of Tullahoma is ready to help you live and play well.
Talking history about this and that. It's conversations with John and Pat. With John and Pat. With John and Pat.
Hello everyone, I'm John Rickman. And I'm Pat Welch, and this is the 11th installment of Conversations with John and Pat.
They're clicking right by.
Clicking right by. This is a rounding success.
I've got an old song. It's the one about Mountain Dew. I think Grandpa Jones made this famous years ago. But I always thought there were such cute verses in here. I think Felix and Boodle Bryant really did Rocky Top. They used some of the format by which this is sung.
It's going to be great, John, because cute certainly goes with us.
Sure. There's a big holler tree down the road here from me where you'd lay down $1 or $2. You can go round the bend and you come back again. There's a jug full of good old Mountain Dew. They call it that old Mountain Dew, and them that refuse it are few. I'll hush up my mug if you fill up my jug with some good old Mountain Dew. My brother Bill's got a still on the hill where he runs off a gallon or two. The buzzards in the sky get so drunk they can't fly from smelling that good old Mountain Dew. My Uncle Nort's kind of sawed off and short. He measures about 4'2". But he thinks he's a giant when you give him a pint of that good old Mountain Dew. My old Aunt June had some sweet smelling perfume. Oh, it had such a sweet smelling fume. But to her surprise, when they had it analyzed, it was nothing but good old Mountain Dew. Preacher rode by with his head high, said his wife had been down with the flu. He thought that I ought just to sell him a quart of that good old Mountain Dew. They call it that old Mountain Dew, and them that refuse it are few. I'll hush up my mug if you fill up my jug with some good old Mountain Dew.
Grandpa Jones was smiling above.
Oh, he was a great guy. Now he came to Tullahoma one time and put on a little concert, and I believe Ms. Galbraith got him here for that. It was to make money for some.
Well, she was musically connected.
She was very gifted, and they had
that.
2 daughters that were very musically gifted, and
one which lives here.
Yes. But Miss Galbraith was a wonderful person.
She certainly was.
And but anyway, there's a picture that Philip's going to put up on the screen, and back in Chapel Hill, when I was a youngster. That was the middle of Chapel Hill in about late 50s. That man out in the middle of the street there is the local bootlegger. Now,
he'd be the dispenser of Mountain Dew. He had the franchise rights.
Yeah,
Mountain Dew
and I don't, his name was Charles. I'm not going to mention last names, but everybody knew him. He was loved by everybody. When he was young, he worked in a circus, and he told me he played a drum, told folks around there, and he would sell. You know, he was all, besides alcohol, he sold a lot of other things. But I want to tell you that my mother, when Charles got to be an older man, he fell down in his house and laid there for maybe a day or whatever, and then somebody found him and took him to the hospital in Nashville. And my mother had an appointment. She was in her 80s. She had an appointment in Nashville, and she said, well, let's go by the hospital and see Charles. Now, my mother was, you know, she went to church Sundays. She was a very proper type person. But, you know, people in Chapel Hill accepted Charles, whatever kind of occupation he was in, just like you could have the druggist or the clothes salesman or dry goods salesman or grocer, whatever. It was sort of an interesting little community. Almost where the deacon in the community and the bootlegger could sit down for a casual meal together if they wanted to.
Chapel Hill was a very progressive town then. Reaching out to all people.
I guess. I don't know.
But John, you mentioned your mother at church every Sunday, and I never will forget before she had to come to Tullahoma to assisted living that we went to church with her one Sunday morning, and
First Methodist Church.
Right. We were trying to figure out how we were who's going to get to snuggle in next to her and that kind of thing, and she let us know real quick that neither one of us was going to be sitting really close to her, because she introduced to a lady that said, your mother said, this is my pew buddy. I thought that was the cutest thing.
Right.
But while we're on church, I've got a story we can talk about that I believe would have been in the 80s, and it involved Kerm Boldig. Kerm came to town, I believe, from Wisconsin in the late 70s or real early 80s, and intended to retire. But he'd been in the business forms printing business and started getting tired of being retired, and set up Tennessee Business Forms, and was a thriving business for a long time. The Boldig family eventually sold it 4 or 5 years ago, I guess it was. But Kerm was a really faithful member at First Methodist in Tullahoma, and he went through a period where he had been really sick and had flu and pneumonia, I think, and lost a lot of weight. And his first Sunday back, after he felt better, he really was happy to be in church, and he liked to sing, and his clothes were. With the loss of weight, he was just tied on him, you know, trying to hold everything together. And about, I guess, in the last chorus of a song, he was really into it and sucked in real good to get one of the last notes out, and his pants and belt were so loose from the weight loss, and when he sucked in, that was all it took. His pants hit the floor, hit around his ankles, and he didn't feel them. So he's singing the last verse in his boxers, and his coat and tie on top of that, and another fine gentleman, John Brandt, was behind him. Mr. Brandt had worked for a long time for the gas company and the management end of it, and when he saw the pants hit the floor, he went, "Oh, Jesus!" This is a quick response, and that didn't. Kerm heard it, but that didn't bother him. He told me at one point that he just thought, well, they've got the Spirit moving in here today. So we just got the sign, John, that's it. So that finishes segment 11.
11. We're going to.
And we talked about church and going to heaven.
That's right.
So that's it. All right. So that's the end of the conversations for.
Never knowing which direction we're going to go.
That's right, number 11, but that's not the last one, we hope. Thank you.
Talking history about this and that. It's conversations with John and Pat, with John and Pat, with John and Pat.
Get Your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
Welcome back. I'm so happy to be on the set with Eric Peterson today. He's directing Christmas Carol this weekend.
That's right.
South Jackson Civic Center right here in Tullahoma, Tennessee.
Yes, it is.
So does it open Thursday?
Yes, it opens Thursday.
Okay.
We run Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Those shows start at 7 p.m. and then we have a matinee on Sunday at 2:30.
At 2:30.
Yeah.
And so if you want tickets, there's the information. Write it down. Call in. It's so much easier if you get tickets online.
Yeah, I would definitely recommend getting
Yeah.
tickets online.
I think there's going to be a crowd, and if you're involved in the crowd, you got to wait in line, and so it's just better to go ahead and have your ticket.
Absolutely, which is www.southjackson.org. It is cheaper.
I guess a better thing to say is less expensive.
Yeah. Yeah, less expensive.
Less expensive. And what are the costs of the tickets?
$15 for adults, $13 with a student ID.
That's prior to the door.
Right, and I think the door adds $1.
I think so.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's a wonderful production. And
Absolutely.
How long has it been since we did this?
To be honest,
quite a few
I
years.
know we've done it before, but
it's
it
been
was
a long time.
It was even before I was like a teenager.
Before you were a teenager.
Yeah, so like early 90s.
I'm so glad that this
mid-90s.
has been, that you have reinvented it and added.
I don't know about reinvented.
Oh yeah, you always do a great job.
Oh, well, thank
Let's
you.
tell who the characters are real
Well,
quick,
sure.
or some of them anyway.
Yeah, there's Ebenezer Scrooge, of course.
That's Frank.
That's Frank Wonder. Then Nathan Lowry is playing Bob Cratchit. Gavin Good is playing his son Tiny Tim. Alyssa Denny is playing Mrs. Cratchit. There's a ton. I'm missing.
Well, you don't have
and
to.
there's our ghosts.
To say them
There's a
all,
ghost
right?
of past, present, and Christmas yet to come, who are played by Zoe Stinson, David Woodfin, and Emilio Steele. Great.
It's a great lineup because I read it and
really
I can't memorize it all, and I wanted to say thank you.
I'm afraid to say anymore because I'll either forget somebody or I'll say somebody's name wrong. Or,
and there was a great article in the news, and you can get a lot of information from that if you have a chance to read. How long have y'all been working on it?
We held auditions at the end of August, and we started rehearsal like the first or second week of September.
Has it been a hard production to put back together?
Not so. I think. Not so difficult on the actors, but it has been difficult. Well, actually, it has been difficult on the actors. I'll tell you why. This show is very reliant on ambiance and on lighting and on special effects and things like that. And when you're rehearsing, especially like at South Jackson, we all share the space all the time. So when we started our rehearsal process, we were in the annex and we had none of that.
And you can't do any of those little technical things that need to be done.
So Jacob Marley, which is a pretty famous character that's in the show. The whole sequence from when Ebenezer Scrooge leaves his office to when he gets to his house and Jacob Marley comes in, there is no dialogue. It is all special effects and all Ebenezer Scrooge reacting to the effects in real time. And so the first time Frank got the opportunity to do that was last night.
Wow.
Because it was the first night that we were in the theater with the sound and the microphones
everything
and
going at the same time.
Yeah.
How long have you been wanting to do this?
I mean, this is one of my favorite shows.
I knew that.
I grew up going and finding a place. As a family thing, we would go watch Christmas Carol somewhere every year. One of the most memorable ones was when I think I was 13, I may have been 14 or 12, but around that time, we went to the Ryman Auditorium and Jamie Farr played Scrooge, and it was amazing.
I can imagine.
Yeah, and that's the one that still sticks out in my mind.
And it has stayed with you all these
Yes,
years,
absolutely.
and you finally got the opportunity to do it.
Yes, I was so excied when
it kind of
just
seems to
worked
me
out.
that to be a production that ought to be done every other year or something like
the,
that.
The big struggle is that it is. Motlow just recently did it. Manchester just recently did it, and we don't want to overdo it, and we don't want to step on anybody else's toes. So when it kind of had been, there was just enough of a lull, and we were looking for a Christmas. It was perfect.
So we finally had a place to insert it.
Exactly.
Well, it happens this week, folks, and
it does.
Thursday night is opening night, and tickets are $15 and $13 in advance, and I'm not positive at the door. It's a little more, I know, maybe $1 or $2 more, but it's a big production.
Yes, 50 plus cast members.
And that's pretty amazing.
Not counting the crew. I have some amazing crew members, like Lisa Wiley. I can't brag on her enough. She's my stage manager. With that many people, and with me also doing the technical side of things.
I don't know how you do it. Do the technical side and then do the directing.
Well, I'll tell you how. It's because I have an amazing stage manager who takes care of a lot of stuff for me.
Right.
She is the person that I can just hand it. I don't have time to deal with this. Can you take care of it? And she just always says yes.
That's fabulous.
And she does. Most of the time, she does a better job than I would have done anyway.
Eric, you're amazing. You're up there all the time doing something special, and you're either on the drums playing for something. In the last few months, I've seen you at the drums, behind the sound, work at the stage, so many things, and we're so fortunate at South Jackson Civic Center to have you and the young people, a lot of new people. That's what I'm loving. I'm seeing lots of new people that have never set foot in a place before.
We have several people in Christmas Carol. This is their first show at South Jackson. We have some people this is their first show ever.
And if you're out there in TV land and don't know where South Jackson Civic Center is, that's in Tullahoma, Tennessee. The address
is 404 South Jackson Street.
I never can remember that. 404 South Jackson. Call and get your tickets right now, because it's going to be a wonderful production and one that you will not forget. Thanks,
Absolutely.
Eric. I know you got a lot of things to do, so go home and get to it.
All right.
All right.
I'm going home and
we'll
going
be
to the
back
theater.
with more. Thank you.
Since the moment you were born, I've made 1,000 wishes. Wishes for your future in a world that's changing fast. Do play and laugh. Do win and lose. Do it all with confidence, kindness, and strength. And always do your best to remember that no matter what you do in this life, what matters to me is that you keep doing.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I'm pleased to have joining me on the set now Alan Harris, who is the commander of American Legion Post 43 in Tullahoma.
Jim, I'm pleased to be here. I'd like to talk about basically three things. The first thing I'd like to share with everyone is something that we do every year around this time. It is our associate with the Big Brothers and Big Sisters of Tullahoma area. We are you talk about the American Legion, you're talking about the Big Brothers. So every year about this time, we join forces with the, I believe it was mentioned earlier, the Better Together community, and they assemble all of the names of the folks that are in need of a Christmas basket, food. And so we go on or about the 19th of December to a local market here and pick up a lot of food. And we assemble it on the 20th in boxes, and we're talking about 50 to 60 boxes of food. And then on the 21st, our Legionnaires, along with other folks from the community who volunteer to help deliver these boxes, deliver the food to these people that need it. And so I'm sharing that with everybody today because we are still and we're very grateful for the donations of the businesses that support the Big Brothers and Big Sisters. But we're still looking for a few families that are in need. And of course, I guess the clearinghouse for all that would be our Good Samaritan organization. But if you're out there in TV land and you have a veteran that is in need of a food basket on the 21st of December, please share that with us. You can call me or come by the Legion or get the information to me. Most of you out there know me through the Legion or Facebook or Instagram. So
right. And through any of those medias, you can provide those names, and you might also know that, folks, that the clearinghouse for that, as Alan said, is the Good Samaritan, and that's to try to make sure that somebody doesn't get 3 or 4 boxes and somebody doesn't get any. So
they do that, and they do a super job of getting all of the local churches and the American Legion together to deconflict those names so that some people get 3 or 4 and others get nothing. So they've done an excellent job in the past, and I expect that to happen again this year. I want to take this opportunity while we're talking about food to publicly thank London's for providing the foodstuffs for us for our Veterans Day celebration. They've done that for the past several years. They don't want the recognition, but Joe Keller, I'm calling you out. I'm telling you, thank you, brother, for providing that for us. And it was a big deal this year because it was our 100th birthday, and so we thank you so much for taking the lead and providing that for us.
Yeah, and you can show London's your appreciation for them doing things like that, and they do things like that all the time. But sometime during the holidays, stop by and have a meal there.
Have a meal there.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you're talking about a phone number to contact for a veteran.
Yeah.
You can call me at 931-581-7334, and I'll be happy to refer those names over to Cindy Kenny at a Good Samaritan. Second item I want to talk about is we got another donation of a sign. People have talked to me several months and years in the past about not knowing where the American Legion is located. So Kenny Banks and Signorama stepped up and they said, we're going to provide you a sign. And so they did the design, the fabrication, and the installation of a sign that goes over our post home there at 109 North Atlantic Street. So we were very, very happy about that. The third and final thing I want to mention is the fact that the year is ending very soon, and there are several Legionnaires out there that still haven't renewed their membership to the American Legion. This is a gentle reminder that your membership year ends, for whatever reason, it ends at the 31st of December. So make sure you get that check to us so that we can renew your membership and you can stay active and stay current. So happy holidays to everyone, and I appreciate your support for our big brothers, and appreciate your supporting the Legion. We got lots of things planned for next year. I'll be back next month to share those with you.
Also, as you folks, as you're watching if you happen to watch the telethon highlights of 16 years of Big Brothers Telethon, if you happen to watch that and feel that you'd like to make a donation for Big Brothers, and I think we mentioned that a few times in the tape, you certainly can do that. If you want to mail it, you can mail it to Post Office Box 212 in Tullahoma. Send it to the studio, we'll get it to them, or call Alan at that number right there, and he'll probably send somebody out to get it.
So, Jim, I'm sure folks know very well that you have been a long-time supporter and a contributor and a member of the Big Brothers, and so I want to thank you on screen for your love and support.
Well, it's been a total pleasure for me, and really, it was a labor of love, I promise you. Because I've been able to see on the other end, the needy people, the people that really appreciate what the American Legion and other organizations have been able to do. And I know I'm running over just slightly, so tell me if I get too far out of hand. I remember one day where we had given away 250 baskets is what we did at that time. And it was over, and we thought everything was finished, and somebody came in and said, this kid over here in Moore Street really needs a bicycle. And there was nobody left that had the authority to write a check out of Big Brothers at that time. And there were 8 or 10 guys standing around there that had been delivering baskets all day, and they chipped in and got that kid a bicycle. And that's the kind of thing, that's the way the Legion membership was at that time, and still is. And those are things that you really touch you, and it's better gratifying to be able to know that you're able to do that through the work of that organization.
Happy to do it.
One other thing, and then I'll be done. Okay, there is been a major expansion in Legion membership eligibility. Could you comment on that in about 30
we
seconds?
discussed that last month, but I'll say it one more time. The Legion Act basically opened up membership to all veterans. If you served from World War II forward to this day through the global war on terrorism, you are eligible to be a member of the American Legion. We want you, particularly the 40-somethings. We want vibrant, active people in our Legion. Thank you.
All right. Alan, thank you so much for coming by.
Happy holidays.
Yeah,
to
happy
you.
holidays to you.
Thank you.
All right. We'll be right back in just a moment, folks, with more Living right after this.
Smoking tobacco accounts for 3 of every 10 fire deaths in the United States.
Tullahoma Fire Department need you en route to a structure fire, 202 Main Street. Heavy smoke showing. Neighbors advise child trapped inside.
Lighters, matches, and associated smoking paraphernalia are the leading cause of preschooler fire deaths. We as firefighters know that most structure fires can be prevented.
I've got one! Command, this is primary search. We have a victim. Need EMS to meet us at the front door.
Please help us to give you a fighting chance. This can be prevented. Contact the Tullahoma Fire Department for a free home safety inspection.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We're pleased to have joining us now Sean Emmadon, who is the Executive Director of the Tullahoma Hands-On Science Center.
How you doing?
Nice to see you, Sean. And I understand you got some big deals going on out there right now.
Yeah, we're really excited. We're planning on ending this great year with a bang.
Mm-hmm.
This year we started our monthly free events, and coming up December 31st is going to be the last one of the year, and it's going to be a real exciting one. It's our annual holiday party. It's going to be from 10 to 5. This, like I said, is one of our free events. We have free admission to the Science Center that day, and free shows, some free crafts, and some different activities like that. And the really exciting thing is, this last summer, we introduced our new rotational exhibits. Our first one was the 50th anniversary of the Apollo moon landing. That one is closed now after getting a lot of visitation and a lot of
By
excitement.
rotational, you mean they're here for a while?
Yeah,
and then
yeah. What
they're-
we're doing is every 3 to 4 months, we're actually putting in a whole brand new exhibit room. So we're going to rotate that through, and during our holiday party will be the official ribbon cutting. It's going to happen at 10:30 on the 21st of our new one, which is the Math of Snowflakes. So we're really, really excited about that. Now get our second rotation going. And
Did you say the Math of Snowflakes?
the Math of Snowflakes.
Okay,
Yeah.
that sounds very interesting.
It's meant to be a little intriguing. You know,
Yeah.
people don't necessarily equate, math with snowflakes.
Right.
So we're hoping people come out and take a look at it. I'm not going to, give you any spoilers right now, but
Right.
there's some really interesting stuff going on in there, and it's going to be really cool.
Right. And you also talked about membership, which I guess is
Yeah,
important.
we actually have our annual membership sale going on right now. We have a special holiday sale. This is a annual pass to not only the Hands-On Science Center, but over 300 science centers throughout the entire country. Super, super deal. We have lots of members in the area. About half of our admissions are current members. For our holiday sale this year, what we're doing is, for the normal price of an annual membership, you're actually going to get 15 months. So you're going to get 3 free months if you get your membership before the end of this month. So definitely jump on that. And even if you do have a membership, that will extend the expiration date. And like I said, if you travel, anywhere, there's always going to be a science center that actually accepts that. So it's a really super gift, especially for kids. They can go, like I said, over 300 science centers throughout the country, and you get in free.
And some are around this area, are they
Yeah,
not?
there is a stipulation with the membership. It's part of the Association of Science and Technology Centers. So the in Murfreesboro and Nashville do not have to accept them.
Right.
Huntsville, the Space and Rocket Center, this is awesome. Space and Rocket Center, they technically do not have to. So we put that out there, but they always historically have.
Right.
So, you know, our membership is basically a day admission there.
Right.
So you can get into the Space and Rocket Center, you know, assuming they continue to accept them. They can stop
Right.
if they want.
Right.
But I mean, people get that membership just for that. They come
Right.
visit us throughout the year and take one trip to the Space and Rocket Center, and they're set. And like I said,
Right.
you can get 3 free months this year. So.
What is the membership for? How much does it cost?
We have different types. Individual memberships start at $25,
Mhm.
and we have families starts at $79, depending on how many people are in the family, and goes up from there.
Right. I just wondered because my grandson loves that place.
Oh, yeah.
My wife was telling me that they bought a membership, and whatever it was, he goes out there all the time.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it was well worth it.
Oh yeah, these
It was
memberships
well
are really worth it. It's
you know.
a really cool organization. It's the ASTC, where, like I said, 300 member facilities. It's an unbeatable deal.
Do you guys
You
still
know.
do the birthday parties or
Oh
those
yeah,
kinds of events?
yeah, absolutely.
Saying
Our birthday parties and field trips have really ramped up this year,
Right.
and we're super excited for next year. They do, you know, weekends booked pretty far in advance. So if you have a birthday party coming up next year, definitely visit our website and check out all the stuff we have to offer there.
Okay. And so in addition to the membership push, again, we'll rehash the fact that on the 21st, wasn't it, you
Yes,
said,
yeah.
big event out there one more time.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely. It is our annual holiday party. I said it's the last this year of our monthly free events, so definitely come out. We plan on, you know, ending with a big bang before we announce the huge list of events that we have going on next year. Really cool thing about it is at 10:30 on that day is the ribbon cutting of the new rotational exhibit, The Math of Snowflakes. And we'll you know, let out a little secret here. We have lots of ribbon cuttings coming up.
Right.
There is lots and lots of exciting changes. I know people have seen a lot of stuff happening in just the past 6 months. I believe this will be our 5th or 6th ribbon cutting in 6 months. There's a whole bunch coming next year. January 31st is going to be another free event, and we're going to have a ribbon cutting of our newly renovated Sight and Sound Hall. So lots of super exciting stuff coming up.
Sean, I think you really like what you do because you're so enthusiastic
Absolutely.
about that every time you go up here. Pleasure to have you on our
Thank
show.
you for having me.
Always
Yeah.
come back anytime you
Absolutely.
have something. All right. We'll be right back with more living right after this.
Let me tell you about the toughest guy on earth. He does the work of 2 jobs, but only gets paid for one. He's tough enough to feed the man that gave him a lifetime of nourishment. He has the crazy strength to lift the man that raised him up without even flinching. That's right. No employee of the month bonus check here. This guy, no, this warrior, will always be by his father's side, even if his dad will hardly remember. Good luck finding a gym to train for that. If this guy isn't the toughest guy on the planet, then I don't know who is. Caregiving is tougher than tough. Find the care guides you need at aarp.org/caregiving.
Is this the year you want to get fit? If so, check out just some of the things Tullahoma Parks and Rec has to offer. Kickboxing, aerobics, silver sneakers workouts, swim lessons, boot camp, water aerobics, basketball, Zumba, yoga, pickleball, lap swimming, treadmill, karate. Get fit, Tullahoma, and have some fun with Tullahoma Parks and Rec.
When your family suffers the loss of a loved one, the caring and compassionate staff at Tullahoma Funeral Home and Coffee County Funeral Chapel are standing by to assist you in every way possible. We are proud to support local industry and offer only Batesville caskets. Many funeral homes don't own or operate a crematory. We utilize the only crematory in Coffee County. Your loved one never leaves Coffee County. We can accommodate any need and any budget. Consider our complete pre-need service to remove this burden from your family during their time of grief. Lock in today's low costs and protect from inflation. Tullahoma Funeral Home and Coffee County Funeral Chapel. Our family caring for your family.
We've chosen to end our show today with the great Tennessee Teddy. He is here with some of his Christmas songs, and before we start, some of you know him as Ted Fugate, but his professional name is going to be Tennessee Teddy.
Yeah.
And when you died recently at Walmart, you forgot someone and you wanted to mention them.
Yeah,
that helped save your life.
Absolutely. I just discovered last night one more detail that I want to give a mention to this lady. She's a police officer, Kelly Fogus, and she showed up there and started CPR. And I mean, it took over on the CPR. She really contributed to saving my life, and I'm very grateful to you, Kelly. Thank you.
There were some great people helping you that day.
It was wonderful.
You know, I just want to hear some good old Christmas music. Would you like to start us off with a song?
Oh, I'm all over it.
You're all over it, so let's hear it.
Bells will be ringing, the glad, glad news. Oh, what a Christmas to have the blues. My baby's gone, I have no friends to wish me greetings once again. Choirs will be singing, silent night, Christmas carols by candlelight. Please come home for Christmas, please come home for Christmas. If not for Christmas, by New Year's night. Friends and relations send salutations, sure as a star shine above. But this is Christmas, yes, Christmas night, dear, the time of year to be with the one you love. So won't you tell me you'll never more roam? Christmas and New Year's will find you home. There'll be no more sorrow, no grief and pain, and I'll be happy, happy once again. Friends and relations send salutations, sure as the stars shine above. But this is Christmas, yes, Christmas night, dear, the time of year to be with the one you love. So won't you tell me you'll never more roam? Christmas and New Year's will find you home. There'll be no more sorrow, no grief and pain, and I'll be happy Christmas once again.
All right, good job. Good job,
Thank
Ted.
you.
And we want to, you have some things you want to say, and we're hoping they're going to zero in on your poster here.
Right.
So there we go.
I want to reach out to the people of my hometown to let me share my Christmas blessings with you here in the last few days of this Christmas season. This is my own unique collection that will put you in the spirit of Christmas for years to come. Now reduced to $12 each, but you only can get them this way. They're available at KK's Music in Tullahoma and Tolliver's Jewelry and Loan in Tullahoma. Or you can call that number that's going to be on the screen, and I will arrange to bring you one. Thank you very much.
Fabulous. So you got your CDs are for sale at those two places, and we're going to take it out today with another good song that everybody loves at Christmas.
Right. Ooh, I'll have a blue Christmas without you. I'll be so blue just thinking about you. Decorations of red on a green Christmas tree. Want me to thank dear if you're not here with me. And when those blue snowflakes start falling, that's when those blue memories start calling. You'll be doing alright with your Christmas of white, but I'll have a blue, blue Christmas. I'll have a blue Christmas, that's certain. And when those blue heartaches start hurting, you'll be doing alright with your Christmas of white, but I'll have a blue, blue Christmas. Oh yes, I'll have a blue, 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 blue Christmas.
Thank you, Ted. That is fabulous. We've got to go. Don't forget to go to KK's Music in Tullahoma or Tolliver's to pick up a CD done by Tennessee Teddy. We'll be back next week.